What happens when a sumo hero slips? Harumafuji, fierce, skilled, beloved, faced a scandal that changed everything. He could have walked awa, but didn't. Why did a dominant Yokozuna refuse to retire until fate made the choice for him? Join us on SumoSpirit as we uncover the rise and fall of a legend. Who would have guessed that a future Yokozuna was born far from Japan's sacred dohyo? Harumafuji, whose birth name is Davanyamin Bayambadorj, was born on April 14, 1984 in Mongolia. His humble beginnings? Classic for many sumo wrestlers, men who start with little and rise through relentless discipline and hard work. At just 16, he launched his professional sumo career in 2001. Young and determined, this early start gave him the chance to gain experience quickly and climb the ranks at a striking pace. How can someone so light shake up the heaviest division in sumo? That's exactly what made Harumafuji stand out. Weighing around 293 pounds, he was unusually light for a top-tier wrestler. In the Makuchi division, most rikishi easily exceed 330 pounds, some even pushing past 440. Yet Harumafuji defied expectations with his speed and technical mastery. Could agility really beat brute strength? In his case, yes. His fighting style relied on precision, speed, and using his opponent's momentum against them. This made him one of the most technically gifted and fastest Yokozuna in sumo history. His rise wasn't just about raw talent. In November 2008, he earned promotion to Ozeki, the second highest rank in sumo, becoming the 7th foreign-born wrestler to do so. And then? In 2012, he reached the pinnacle, Yokozuna, only the 3rd Mongolian and 5th non-Japanese wrestler to ever achieve that title. What happens when greatness collides with even greater greatness? During Harumafuji's career, the world of sumo was ruled by another Mongolian powerhouse, Hakuho, widely regarded as one of the greatest sumo wrestlers of all time. How do you rise when a giant towers over your era? Competing in the same time frame as Hakuho posed a major challenge for Harumafuji. Still, he managed to claim 9 top division championships, 3 of them with a perfect record. Impressive? Absolutely. But the long shadow of Hakuho loomed large. In 2001, a young rikishi named Ama stepped onto the dohyo for the very first time. By 2004, he had reached the top division, and in 2006, he cracked the Sanyaku ranks as Komusubi. But then, a crushing 4-11 loss sent him tumbling back down. And just when things couldn't get worse, tragedy struck. His father died in a traffic accident the day before his next tournament. Most would have walked away. Ama? He fought with fire, went 10-5, and earned his way back. Because some rikishi don't break, they rise. What happens when the underdog refuses to stay down? After years of struggle, September 2008 marked a turning point. Ama stormed through the tournament with 12 wins. But he wasn't done. In November, he beat Hakuho, racked up 13 victories, and earned a spot in the playoff. He lost that battle, but won the war. 35 wins in 3 tournaments, the magic number for Ozeki promotion. He received his 5th technique prize, another silver trophy, and a new name, Harumafuji. Because now, he wasn't just a fighter, he was a force. What does it take to beat the unbeatable? In May 2009, Harumafuji started his run with an incredible 12-0 winning streak. Unstoppable, right? Until Hakuho, the dominant Yokozuna, caught him off guard with a rare and skillful leg sweep. Was that the end of Harumafuji's dream? Not even close. The very next day, he bounced back spectacularly, defeating the fierce Asashoryu with a stunning Sotogake, an outer leg trip that left everyone in awe. Then fate had more drama in store. Hakuho unexpectedly lost his bout, setting up a thrilling showdown. Both wrestlers tied at 13-1. Final day, playoff, one last chance to seize glory. Harumafuji seized the moment, throwing Hakuho with a perfect shitate nage, an underarm throw that crowned him champion. A Mongolian had just conquered giants, again. How do you prove you're ready to stand among the legends? At the 2011 Nagoya Basho, Harumafuji was absolutely on fire, racking up 13 wins against just 1 loss. But the real moment came on day 14, when he faced the dominant Yokozuna Hakuho once again. Could Harumafuji beat the most powerful Yokozuna of his era head-on? Yes. In a gripping, edge-of-your-seat showdown, Harumafuji pushed Hakuho out with a flawless Yorikiri technique. He had already secured the Yusho, but more importantly, he had just captured the sumo world's full attention. The question on everyone's mind now was simple. Yokozuna next? Can one tournament change your destiny? After winning the Nagoya Basho in 2012, Harumafuji did it again in September, but this time, everything was on the line. Day 15, title match. One more clash with Hakuho. The bout was intense, but Harumafuji kept the pressure low, literally, and forced the mighty Yokozuna off balance. Then came the shitate nage, a perfect underarm throw, and with it, perfection. 15-0. Again, his second straight championship, his fourth perfect record. And finally, his promotion to Yokozuna. Harumafuji had climbed to sumo's highest rank, and he earned every step. Hatsubasho 2013. What do you do after reaching the very top? For most, reaching Yokozuna is the ultimate achievement, but for Harumafuji, it was just the beginning. At his very first tournament as a Yokozuna, he didn't just compete, he dominated with a flawless 15-0 perfect record. The final day set the stage for an epic showdown. Once again, he faced his greatest rival, the mighty Hakuho. From the first charge, Harumafuji locked in a powerful two-handed grip and never released it. Step by step, he pushed Hakuho out of the dohyo with a relentless and crushing yorikiri. With that victory, Harumafuji claimed his fifth career Yusho and silenced all doubts about his place among the greats. The new era had truly arrived, and Harumafuji was leading the charge. What if your final triumph came just before the fall? Harumafuji's last Yusho arrived at the Akibasho in 2017, but it wasn't a walk in the park. The competition was fierce, and he ended the regular bouts tied with Ozeki Goido, forcing a tense playoff on day 15. When the pressure was at its peak, Harumafuji acted decisively. With one swift grip, one powerful push, and a flawless yorikiri, he sealed the victory. The crowd erupted in cheers, celebrating the champion's grit and skill. But behind that moment of glory, dark clouds were gathering. Unbeknownst to many, this would be the final championship of Harumafuji's storied career, the calm before everything unraveled. What led to the sudden downfall of a sumo great? What does it take to become a true champion? Harumafuji won 9 Yusho between 2009 and 2017, starting with his very first title at the Natsu Basho in May 2009. Can brains and strategy beat sheer power in the dohyo? Harumafuji wasn't the biggest wrestler, far from it. But with lightning speed, agility, and razor-sharp technique, he turned his size disadvantage into a deadly weapon. How? By using his opponent's own strength and momentum against them, relying on moves like yorikiri and uwatenage to outsmart and overpower giants. But being skilled wasn't the only challenge. As a Mongolian, Harumafuji faced cultural barriers and skepticism. Yet his dedication, humility, and incredible achievements won over not just the fans, but the Japan Sumo Association itself. He became more than a champion, he became a respected legend. In public, Harumafuji projected an image of discipline, politeness, and elegance, qualities that perfectly matched the expectations of a Yokozuna, a rank that demands not only athletic excellence but also exemplary behavior off the dohyo. But could there be a crack beneath the surface? This public image clashed dramatically with the dark episode that would unfold in 2017. What happened on that fateful night in Tottori? After losing his first 2 matches in November 2017, shocking news broke. Harumafuji had assaulted fellow Mongolian wrestler Takanoiwa, a lower-ranked wrestler, during a regional tour. What sparked such violence? Reportedly, anger over Takanoiwa looking at his phone. But the attack went far beyond a simple scolding. Harumafuji hit him 20 to 30 times, even striking his head with a beer bottle. The injuries were severe, a fractured skull, forcing Takanoiwa to miss the tournament and face demotion. Harumafuji's stablemaster admitted the incident, and Harumafuji himself issued a public apology and withdrew from the tournament, citing injury. The police investigated. Harumafuji eventually admitted the assault. Even Yokozuna Hakuho, present at the scene, apologized publicly but claimed the bottle slipped from Harumafuji's hands. Conflicting reports surfaced, ice picks, ashtrays, even karaoke remotes were rumored, but Harumafuji insisted he used only his bare hands. How did sumo's highest authority react? The Japan Sumo Association faced heavy criticism for its slow and unclear response, with editorials in various newspapers pointing to a lack of governance and transparency. The JSA recommended the dismissal of Takanohana, Takanoiwa's stablemaster, for failing to report the incident promptly, although the final decision was postponed until January 2018. Public opinion, as reflected in media and social networks, expressed disappointment, calling the incident a stain on sumo, a sport already shaken by past scandals, such as Asashoryu in 2010. Why didn't he quit right away? Harumafuji did not immediately resign after the incident. Though the scandal became public on November 14, he continued competing in the Kyushu Basho tournament until its conclusion on November 26. He only announced his retirement on November 29, suggesting an attempt to reduce the fallout. Initially, he justified the assault by saying he was trying to correct Takanoiwa's behavior, which was widely criticized as lacking genuine remorse. Was this the behavior of a Yokozuna? What happens when a Yokozuna fails to embody dignity? A Yokozuna is expected to be a moral and physical role model, embodying hinkaku, dignity. Harumafuji's delayed response and justification clashed with these expectations, seen as a betrayal of public trust and the traditions of sumo, especially in a sport still recovering from past scandals. This incident was perceived as a clear violation of hinkaku, made worse by the fact that it involved physical violence against a junior wrestler. Would he have been forced out anyway? The Yokozuna Deliberation Council stated it would have recommended Harumafuji's resignation had not stepped down voluntarily, indicating serious institutional pressure. Additionally, the media and public opinion played a decisive role in forcing his retirement, emphasizing the ongoing demand for integrity in the world of sumo. Before the scandal, Harumafuji was regarded as one of the most promising Yokozuna of his generation. But the 2017 incident overshadowed all his achievements. His assault on Takanoiwa wasn't just an act of violence, it exposed a side of his character that clashed with his public image of discipline and elegance. The media emphasized that his retirement wasn't enough to restore trust in sumo, and that the incident only deepened the perception that Mongolian wrestlers might be prone to such behavior. What if he had left earlier? Had Harumafuji retired before the scandal, his reputation would likely have remained untarnished. His accomplishments as a Yokozuna and his technical style rooted in speed and agility would have been the defining marks of his career. He might have stood shoulder to shoulder with legends like Taiho and Chiyonofuji, untainted by violence. Could he have been remembered as one of the greats? The stats say yes. What happens when you face the greatest and refuse to back down? Harumafuji didn't just share the ring with Hakuho, he challenged him again and again. Can you imagine staring down the most dominant Yokozuna in history and beating him more times than anyone else ever has? That's right, Harumafuji defeated Hakuho 22 times, more than any other wrestler could manage. His record was 22 wins, 37 losses. And this wasn't some one-off rivalry. From May 2012 to November 2013, their bout closed the tournament 10 times in a row. That's the second longest streak of final day clashes in sumo history. In total, they fought 24 tournament-deciding matches, a legendary rivalry only surpassed by Akebono versus Takanohana. So when Hakuho led the crowd in banzai cheers after Harumafuji's final title in 2017 and even said he hoped he'd return, it wasn't just sentiment, it was respect. Two warriors, dozens of battles, a rivalry that defined an era. Also, his technical impact and role in sumo's globalization strongly support that idea, especially as the third Mongolian to reach the sport's highest rank. With 827 wins and 444 losses in the top division, his career would have been celebrated without controversy. Harumafuji's lasting mark lies in the way he brought a highly technical style to the dohyo. He used 42 different kimarite, including uwatenaje and yorikiri, inspiring lighter and more agile wrestlers in the modern era. He also reinforced Mongolia's dominance in the sumo world, paving the way for others, even though his scandal fueled negative stereotypes. What a journey! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the SumoSpirit channel for more content. See you in the next video.